Warning, the Spiraken mini movie review contains adult language, mature situations, 80s pop culture nostalgia, book to movie comparisons, and slight spoilers. Listener discretion is advised. Spiraken mini movie review, Ready Player One. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken mini movie review, the podcast where we talk about new movies that just came out and we tell you a little bit about it. We don't go too spoilery into it. We don't talk too much about the plot. We just tell you the basics on how it was based on initial reactions. I'm your host, Xan, and with me today is...
Greta!
Yes, we are here in Boston getting ready for Anime Boston, which is going to be a blast. We've got 5 panels this weekend, and if you are going to Anime Boston and you are going to check it out, I highly recommend you go. And I'll just blurb it a little bit. I'm a little tired. It's been a long day, hasn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah. We went exploring today, and then to end the day, because we got our panel badges, we got all of our stuff ready to go, we decided to go see the premiere of Ready Player One, the adaptation of the book by Ernest Cline that was directed by Steven Spielburg and starred Tye Sheridan, Olivia Cooke, Ben Mendelsohn, T.J. Miller, Simon Pegg, and Mark Rylance. And I've got to say, I was surprised. I went in with somewhat low expectations because the trailers, while looked kind of cool, I thought the movie was going to be a hatchet job of the book, and it's actually a very interesting adaptation of the story. They took a lot of liberties with what they did. Do you agree? Well, you didn't read the book, so what did you think about it?
I did not read the book. I cheated. But, I feel confident in saying the movie is never as good as the book. I think that's like a good hard and fast rule in general. But I went in with some pretty low expectations. Some of the previews looked kind of sad, kind of depressing. I wasn't feeling like starting off a Boston anime convention with like a sad movie. But I have to say, I clapped at the end. I liked it. I enjoyed.
You were the one that started the clapping, which is the funniest part of all.
You're welcome.
End of the movie, she starts clapping. Everyone else starts clapping. So we did have a blast with it. Now, if you have not read or heard of Ready Player One yet, you are completely
late
under
to the game.
A rock.
Yep.
But to explain the story, it's this. In the future, there is a artificial or augmented reality called the Oasis. That's where everyone's living now because the future is shit. People are living in horrible situations. They live in things like the stacks, which are trailers on top of trailers on top of trailers, and there's hundreds of people who are it's overpopulation, overcrowding, not enough resources, so people are escaping into the Oasis. There's artificial VR where you could do anything, be anything, you make money through the Oasis, and you could live like a king. So what happened was the creator of the Oasis, James Holiday, died. And when he died, he left a message saying, whomever can find my Easter egg will get all of my money and control of the Oasis. So everybody is trying to hunt down this Easter egg, and for 5 years, no one's been able to do it. Enter in our main character, Percival, aka Wade Watts, and he is going to save the day. He is going to kick ass and protect the Oasis from the evils of the IOI Corporation, which is led by Nolan Sorrento, who is a douchebag.
Evil businessman who's not techie, knows nothing about video games.
Nothing about 80s nostalgia because the hints to the Oasis and, more importantly, to the Easter egg are all 80s nostalgia. And this film is chock full of 80s nostalgia, 90s nostalgia, 2000s nostalgia, and also there are so many Easter eggs in this film itself. It is a beautiful, just a wonder to look at. I want to see this again just to see what did I miss this time or that time, because let's just be honest, it is a very visually beautiful film. And we saw it in IMAX, and I gotta say it was worth watching in IMAX because it is...
I feel like we should plug this theater because this theater was awesome too.
Well, we were at the Boston Commons AMC, which is a really good theater, but I gotta say the movie was visually stunning, I think.
It was...
They paid for their money, and it's a nice contrast with the real world and the Oasis.
And it wasn't... a lot of IMAX movies can be a little nauseating. Like you get it spins around. I was a little nervous with like virtual reality. You're gonna see it in IMAX. I'm gonna get like motion sickness. But it was beautiful, start to finish. Even the depressing, creepy real world was well done.
And you thought that the real world would detract from the film. It doesn't detract from the film at all. It actually makes you appreciate the film more, especially with the message of the book and the film, which is you need to go out sometimes too, you nerd, which is the basic.
Also, I liked the little message in there about, be careful who you trust online.
Yeah, which
I kind of liked that,
Yes, subtle spoiler. One of the characters who is Wade's or Parsifal's best
I wasn't
friend.
Give it out that much.
The trailer gives it away, unfortunately. He's this big burly guy in the Oasis whose name is Arch or H, which you see, and he's supposedly actually really handsome and very charismatic, and they make him
big burly. You just know
they
he's
make
a badass.
They make him a badass in this one, but the reveal is that in reality,
I mean, he could have. And in my mind, I was picturing him like he was this big kind of badass. He was either going to be like some kind of college football player or chubby little like preteen. It was like for me, in my head, it was one or the other. They actually got me on this surprise.
And the truth is that H is actually a black lesbian.
Helen.
His name is Helen. I wish they kept the original initial thing in the book. In the book, they actually meet up. And he's like, so this isn't what you're expecting, was it? He's like, I didn't think you were black. It wasn't the fact he was a woman. It was, I didn't think you were black because he acts like such a white guy. And
I didn't get the white guy, though.
They made it more.
Again, I did not read the book.
The movie did some interesting changes because of the properties they couldn't get a hold of. But there was a lot of properties they did have a hold of, and there's a lot that you see. There are some great visuals. They have Mechagodzilla in it. They have a Gundam in it. They have Chucky. They have the DeLorean. They have Kaneda's bike from Akira. They have the Iron Giant. They have Gears of War. They have Halo. They have so much stuff. It is just awe-inspiring. Now, the actors themselves, I think they did a very good job.
Yeah.
T.J. Miller stole the show, and you don't even see T.J. Miller. You just hear his voice, and he's playing a new character that was not in the book, and he steals the show. Also, Simon Pegg does a pretty good job as James Holliday's right-hand man, who was... They did dumb down his role, but it still was engaging and intriguing to see him. I wish there was more scenes with him. So, the music also, very, very 80s, and it fit this film so much because it's so nostalgic. I mean, it opens up with Van Halen's Jump.
And, the massive fight scene, there's some really good music playing. I don't want to spoil it.
They did remove a lot of some of the issues that people had with the book. For example, in the book, Parsifal and this other Gunter, egg hunter, Artemis they start to have a thing going on. I don't want to spoil too much with their situation, but in the book, they make it that it becomes stalkerish at one point. But he gets the girl. This film fixes that. It makes it more understandable why they end up being in this weird relationship thing and why he's not. They're just two damaged people working together to they fall in love because they're damaged in a weird sort of way. Because in this dystopian world, it's you're either living in the Oasis or you're trying to survive in this weird that's not even post-apocalyptic. It's just dystopian future.
Yeah, well, there were stuff they reference stuff happens. Things happen to people. The world is what it is. But no, it was good.
I highly recommend it, and if you have a chance, watch it. Now, if you probably didn't notice, I did not put any music in this episode because I could not get a license for any of the songs in this.
But the actual movie has enough music to make up for it.
If they have a soundtrack, I highly recommend buying it. So anyway, with that in mind, I think that's it for this episode. So check out Ready Player One. It's a fun film. It's a lot of fun. T.J. Miller steals the show. The art is great. The characters are great. And it's a nice adaptation of a really good book. Some people say it's a really garbage book, but I disagree. I think it's a good book, except for the opening of the book, which I have a theological issue with. But
I say clap worthy. At the end of the show, if you're not clapping, you didn't see it the right way.
We'll do a proper review when I actually review the book itself on the podcast. We are releasing a couple more episodes, including tomorrow. We do have an episode coming out. That's going to be a lot of fun. And if you are in Boston, here is what our schedule is going to be. Tomorrow, March 31st. No, 30th.
Yep.
At 1:30 in room 311 in the Heinz Convention Center at Anime Boston. We are going to be doing May the Force Be With You, Star Wars Influence on Anime, and then at 9:30 p.m. in room 311 also, Greta and I will be running 20 sci-fi manga recommendations for grown-ups. Now on Saturday, the 31st, here's what our lineup is going to be. At 6:30 p.m., it is 6:30, yeah. 6:30 p.m. in room 309, we will be running Journey to the Stars, anime and manga's Journey from Earth to Space. It's an old panel, but it's very relevant, especially now, especially in a sci-fi panel, because the theme of Anime Boston is science fiction, so we're kind of sucking on that, enjoying it, and just embracing it. And at midnight on the 31st into the 1st, we're going to be doing From Under the Bed Horror and Anime and Manga Sci-Fi Edition in room 306. And finally, in panel room C at 1 o'clock or actually it's 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock in panel room C on the 1st of April, we are going to, on Easter Sunday, we are going to be...
No joke.
Doing Captains, Cowgirls, and Cyborgs, Memorable Women of Sci-Fi, Anime, and Manga. So we're going to talk about some of the greats, from the Major to Faye Valentine to even Sanoshi from
Not giving anything
Red
away.
Lines.
Some of them are pretty badass, just saying.
A couple of them are. So check it out. Let me know what you think. Remember, you can email me at xanspirekin.com, xan@sprakn, and check out any of our episodes at www.spirekin.com. With that in mind, we are Gonzville. We will catch you guys next time. See ya!